The insect glaive is mainly for your speedy hitters, good for status, and mainly used for mounts. I believe the insect glaive, it's a good weapon, but I feel like it's really just good for online play. Um, you're not going to be doing any big monster hits with this weapon. It's mainly just for mounting and sometimes status. The Kinsect is actually one of the crazier things of the actual weapon itself, which I think doesn't get utilized by a lot of actual insect glaive users. Um, so let's just get started. So you have your normal, well, I know you play on PC, but we'll just call this the quick attack. You have a little thrust, then it goes around, and notice how I can only really press it 3 times, and then it just ends the combo. My armor set probably will get me killed, because I need to... One sec. Alright. Yeah, sorry, this is one of the endgame monster armors. When you miss attacks or anything, you take small damage. But the upside is, as long as you're continuously hitting the monster, then you'll get your health back, and then I think a little more. But anyway, back to the thing. Alright, so your main combos come from that. There's no infinite for this. As soon as you hit that 4, you just go back to your stance. Circle, more heavies. They're stronger, but they're a little slower. They can only really get to. Alright, so the real use, if you just use the insect glaive like that, you're not going to get any use out of it. You might as well just pick up another weapon, because this is one of the really big thonk weapons. So, you get ready your Kinsect. Again, I know you're playing on PC, I just don't know how to tell you, but so if I put my thing, it would be the same button as you have the slinger. So when you have your slinger aimed and everything, it's gonna be that same one. And then you have to have the weapon in hand. Now if you press the fast attack button, you'll send the Kinsect out. If you press the heavy, it'll come back. The main thing for the Kinsect is gets you buffs and other things that can even heal you depending on monsters. So usually the head of the monster will get you, well, that's orange, so I'll just, oh god, sorry. Usually it's the back, the torso that gives you orange, and for orange that gives you a defense buff. So you get a small defense boost. For white gives you a movement speed buff, so you move a little bit faster, all that stuff. Now, even with all these, your attacks are still the same. You have the 3-hit combo, and then you have the 2-hit, and the 2-hit heavies. But you can also link the heavy with the 3 quick hit. Heal up. So, for red, if I could find it, it's one of these. Alright, there it is. So red will give you a little attack boost, and it changes up your attacks. So, triangle, you get a multi-hit, multi-hit, multi-hit. You get way more hits. For circle, a few more hits aren't there. Now, you can also make an infinite. As long as you link these all together, you can just keep hitting and hitting. As long as you have those buffs on the top, then you're good. Which is some of the better parts. Let's get back. Alright, there we go. Okay, so one of the cool things I actually learned at the beginning of Iceborne, if you have like stones or pit fruit, stuff like that, ammo for the for the slinger itself. You could feed the bug that stuff. I think rocks don't give it a lot, so let me just see if there's an actual pit fruit around here. But you could feed it to the actual Kinsect himself, and it'll actually buff the Kinsect as well. You could, man, I really should have planned this out more. I'm really saying a lot of ums. As you aim with the stick, so you would send out the bug naturally. I'll just wait for the, you can see the buffs right next to my health. They're blinking. That means that they're gonna run out soon, and then they go. Once you get buffs, you have a small amount of time with them. So say you just keep getting whites and whites. After a while, if you don't get the other colors, it will disappear, so you'll have to collect it again. Let's see, what else? Oh yeah. So if you aim as if you're gonna throw out the Kinsect, if you press both the heavy and light attack, you charge the Kinsect. Now, you'll see next to the actual Kinsect bar, right under my health and all that, its stamina has increased. It gets a power boost, I think a speed boost is that one too. And you can naturally send it out. It does more damage. I'm gonna buff myself up real quick. Alright, so I'm all maxed out. Now, this is another cool part of the Kinsect. If you press, like right here, if you want to jump in the air, let's see. You also mark targets. I forgot about that. What button would that be? Oh yeah, that's another button. For the same button that would shoot the slinger, you know, this button that shoots it out. If you have your weapon on your back and you press it, you'll immediately throw out the bug. You can recall it. And if you mark it, no, we'll get to that in a bit. So to say this is a monster. The monster is pinned down, it's on its side. If you press that button, that shoots out, but with the weapon drawn, you will mark the target. Meaning the Kinsect will go attack on its own until its stamina bar drains. Way you could cancel it is you could recall it, you could buff it, you could also shoot it out. So if you're aiming down and you shoot it like a slinger, you shoot this little ball, that marks everywhere. A bonus to this is that when the Kinsect attacks, it makes these little, like, dust clouds. And depending on what type of Kinsect you have, it could be healing, it could be blast, paralysis, dragon blight, all that stuff. So, it's all that. If you strike it with a weapon, it sets them off. So you get, like, a bonus chain reaction, where most of the damage would be coming from of the Kinsect itself. Aerial attacks. So once you're aiming down, if you press the dodge button, or sorry, not the dodge, if you press the shoot button. Wait, what button? Did I honestly just forget? Okay, sorry. So to vault, it's the same button as the marking. But you'd go like that. I would hope you already know that. But I can't remember how you played when we last, or I saw you playing on Twitch. There you go. I'll call him back. Buff him up. There you go. If you vault around, you have many different options. Now, if you have no buffs, this is what your options are. You jump, you get this single hit. If you do it with the other heavy, you get you get more forward momentum. This one, you just kind of stay where you are. This one, you go forward before you hit. Alright. You can also press the dodge button mid-air to change your trajectory. So, if say the monster you jump and it goes behind you, you could jump and aim it towards that way and correct yourself, which is actually really nice. The buffs do matter if you have attack. I'm just gonna get the other ones because it bugs me if I don't. Wrong one. Okay. So now that I have my buffs, if I jump, if I do a light attack, I'll do this spiral attack where I get more hits. When you see an orange spark, you can't see it here because it's not a monster. When you see an orange spark, that counts as jump damage, or I don't know the actual term of it. But if you do enough of that, that's when you eventually mount a monster. Any weapon could do it. If you're running off a cliff and you get your jump, if you press it, you always get your jumping attacks. Let me just heal up. Oh, that's getting real close. Am I gonna die? No, I'm not. Good. So, once you have your buffs and everything, okay, more of them. You can still jump around like normal. You only get one, like, double jump in the air, but it's like any direction you want. So you can go forward, or you can go backwards, you can go sideways, as long as you're holding the direction that you're going in. With circle, you could jump and you do this, you still go in the same way as you would the normal one without the buff. So circle, you still go that way, but you get multiple hits. And, you know, it does more damage and everything. But the cool thing about this attack is that if you land the last hit of it, you can link the second hit. And, I don't know if I can show it here, but I'll try. You go here. Oh man. It's gonna be tough. You could dodge and then get a second one in. So you're basically double jumping, dancing in the air while doing like a good amount of damage. Keeps you mobile. Once you're like using it on a bigger monster, you know, just doing it on a standard thing, it's a little harder. But once you start mastering that, you can literally dance around the monster and it can't do anything. The only limit is your stamina gauge. If it runs out, you see it going down. If it runs out while you're doing all that, you basically just fall into an exhausted state and you could get mollywopped, which is insane. Alright, well, honestly, that's pretty much it. There's not much. I think I just saw this too. It's a claw attack. If you just do this mid-air, if I can. You could mount a monster in that little area, and then, you know, weaken and all that stuff, but that's Iceborne stuff, so you don't really have to worry about that. I think you're still in the beginning. But yeah, hopefully this was useful. If any questions, just message me, and I'll try to clear things up. And hopefully you have a good one.